Hey Bowling Green, I'm Shane Nissen, and this is your weekly Falcon Sports Report. It's playoff time again in Bowling Green, as this past weekend the BGSU hockey team hosted the first round of the WCHA playoffs versus the Michigan Tech Huskies. The Huskies scored the first two goals in Game 1 and led 2-0 for the most of the game, but with less than 9 minutes remaining in the third period, the Falcons found the back of the net on a power play goal by Connor Ford. Just 15 seconds later, Frederick Letourneau scored for the Falcons, and it was a madhouse on Mercer again. Sophomore Max Johnson scored less than 2 minutes later, giving BG the lead and the win by the final score of 3-2. On Saturday, despite trailing early, Bergeron's team scored 3 first-period goals and never looked back. The Falcons extended their lead to win the game 6-2 and sweep their first-round playoff series. But Coach Bergeron evaluated his team following Saturday night.
We know we're capable of scoring. It's hard. So I thought that we used the momentum of yesterday's game in the third period to carry over into today's game. What I liked both games, our process was pretty good. I mean, we'll grade it out after tomorrow or Monday or whatever and see where we are with our process. But our process was good last night. It just took us a couple periods to score. Tonight we got off to a great start and kind of carried that momentum throughout the game. But it was work, it was good sticks, it was playing through bodies, it was good special teams, good goaltending, which has been our recipe over the course of the season.
Sophomore Max Johnson totaled 6 points on the weekend against Michigan Tech, including 3 goals, good enough to land him WCHA Forward of the Week and NCAA Third Star of the Week. The Falcons next travel to Marquette, Michigan for the WCHA semifinals versus Northern Michigan. The game is set for Friday at 7:07 p.m. With Northern Michigan comes a heated rivalry that has built up in recent years. This is the second consecutive year the Falcons and Wildcats have faced off in the semis and will be the 11th time they have played each other in the past 3 seasons. Head coach Chris Bergeron spoke on the upcoming battle between the Pipes and junior Ryan Bednard and Northern goalie Audie Tolvanen.
When you get this deep in the season and there are just no secrets between teams, how do the dynamics of these games change?
I personally don't think they change a whole lot because of the video and the access we have to each other's games. You know what to expect. Now having seen them live is different than on video for sure. But from a dynamic of how the series changes, maybe a little bit of a fire on for one another, a hate, if you will. I'm not saying that's what we are with Fairbanks, but sometimes the third game is different than the first because you've already played 2 heated games, and every game in league seems to be heated these days. So maybe that. And when I find in this time of the year, the games seem to, in the kids' minds, the games seem to mean more because you're getting down to late in the year and nothing's guaranteed and all those kind of things. So I think those 2 areas just ratchet up the intensity just a little bit. I mean, they're fighting for a playoff spot. We're fighting for home ice, second place. So we're both fighting for something, and I think this team is really dangerous. So we're trying to get prepared to play our best hockey. I know they're doing the same thing, and the fact that we played 2 heated games up at Fairbanks that's a recipe as far as I'm concerned for 2 more pretty tight checking, hard fought games here.
You can watch this weekend's playoff series on flowhockey.tv or listen in through the Falcon Radio Network. Following the sweep of Michigan Tech, the amount of engagement on social media has been crazy. Here are some of the best reactions from all across Twitter. Hockey isn't the only team with a serious playoff aspirations this season. Over on the court, the men's basketball team will travel to Cleveland, Ohio and Quicken Loans Arena as they take on the Ball State Cardinals in the quarterfinals of the MAC tournament. BG enters as the 3rd seed and takes on the 11th seeded Cardinals. The Falcons finished their regular season with a 20-11 record, going 12-6 in the MAC. Newly named second-team All-MAC forward DiMaggio Wiggins has averaged a double-double throughout the 2018 and 19 campaign, and redshirt sophomore first-team All-MAC guard Justin Turner has been one of the best players in the conference, averaging nearly 19 points per game. In their only meeting with Ball State this season, BG won 79-78, but the Falcons have lost 4 out of their last 5 games heading into the tournament. If BG wins his first game, they will most likely play Toledo in the MAC tournament semifinals, where the winner of the Battle of I-75 gets a shot to play for an NCAA tournament bid. Head coach Michael Huger is looking forward to the challenge.
It resets. Everything resets. Everybody's undefeated right now going back. It's the postseason, and now we got to find that energy and that passion that we once had for basketball, and we got to bring it back. And that's just it. It's up to us. Everything is in our court. We've proven that we can beat every team in our league, and now we got to go out and show that we can do it for 3 games.
And for those wanting to go to tomorrow's MAC tournament game but don't have a ride, the Dean of Students office is providing a free bus for 50 BGSU students to travel to the game. A spot on the bus also comes with a free ticket to the game. The trip will be provided to the first 50 students and will be made available on a first-come, first-served basis. To RSVP, students need to email Assistant Marketing Director Nate Glusich at nglusich@bgsu.edu. You can only reserve 1 bus ride and ticket per email. The bus will leave at 5 o'clock p.m. tomorrow from the Slater Family Ice Arena and return immediately following the game. And head coach Michael Huger has just been named as a finalist for the Skip Prosser Man of the Year Award. Named after the late Skip Prosser, who died suddenly in 2007, while head coach at Wake Forest, the award is presented annually to those who do not only achieve a success on the basketball court, but who also display moral integrity off it as well. The recipient of the 2019 Skip Prosser Award will be announced on April 5th at the College Insider Awards event in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You can watch tomorrow's MAC quarterfinal game at 9 o'clock p.m. on ESPN Plus or listen in through BGRSO. Despite the lack of major success in their conference schedule, Coach Robin Freilich and the women's basketball team ended Tuesday's MAC tournament game hoping to repeat what they accomplished less than 2 weeks ago, defeating Kent State. Jumped out to a 25-7 lead through 1 quarter of play and kept their foot on the pedal. They managed to outplay the Falcons throughout the game, and Bowling Green would fall 86-62 to end their season. The Falcons finished at 9-21 on the season, their 5th losing season in a row. Andrea Cecil once again led the Falcons with 17 points in the game. It was the final game for seniors Sydney Lambert and Maddie Cole as Falcons, but they both contributed for the Falcons in their time here. Maddie Cole scored 10 points in her final game as a Falcon, while Sydney Lambert did what she does best and distributed a game-high 4 assists against Kent State. Sydney Lambert also put her name in the BG record books as she finishes 20th on the team's all-time scoring list and 2nd on the all-time three-pointers made list. Sydney Lambert also became the 28th member of the 1,000-point club. As for next season, Coach Robin Freilich will look to build on the fact that he only loses 2 players to graduation, and with recruits Olivia Trice, Alyssa Brett, and Macy Spielman coming in next season, the Falcons will hope to make some waves in the MAC Conference. Head coach Danny Smith and the BG baseball team played a series in the state of Ohio for the first time this year, facing off against the Cincinnati Bearcats at Marge Schott Stadium in Cincinnati. BG had a great pitching performance in Game 1 from Andrew Abrahamowicz that put BG just 2 outs from victory in the 9th. But UC came back to tie it up and would win it in the 10th. Game 2 saw a similar story for BG, leading by 2 heading into the 7th, but the Bearcats tied it up at that same inning and then took the lead in the 8th that they wouldn't relinquish. Monday's game also featured a strong pitching performance by Will McLean. The Falcons trailed 4-1 in the 8th, but were able to battle back to make it 4-3 heading into the 9th inning. BG brought the tying and go-ahead run to the plate in the 9th, but could not convert. And for the 3rd game in a row, BG lost 4-3. Up next for the team is their home opener today at 3:05 p.m. versus Oakland University. It's time for spring football again in Bowling Green, and with all the changes made this offseason, fans are eager to see the newest version of the Falcons. Sports reporter Chase Bachman has the story.
The weather is starting to warm up in Northwest Ohio. That means spring football is just around the corner. It may be the off-season, but this time of year is all about hard work, and no one appears to be working harder than the BGSU Falcons. The team is getting acclimated to their new head coach, Scott Loeffler. Loeffler talked about the kind of energy that the team was bringing and their toughness.
You're able to start football a little bit earlier, and obviously coming out here and having spring practice and finally seeing our guys on grass for the first time, throwing and catching and running an offensive play versus a defensive play. It's been a great day.
And what is a team on the rise without a star quarterback? Jared Dagey returns for his third year in the orange and brown. He talked about the challenge of playing under a new head coach.
Yeah, he challenges us in a lot of ways. He challenges us mentally, physically, and he's really detailed with his fundamental work, and we're always in the QB room just learning something new every day.
The Falcons will continue practice leading up to their spring game on April 20th. They'll use that time to develop on both sides of the ball as the Scott Loeffler era is underway here in Bowling Green. For BG24 Sports, I'm Chase Bachman.
If the Falcons hope to improve with 2019, the defensive side of the ball must be overhauled this offseason, as the Falcons ended this past season ranking last in the MAC in scoring defense. Sports reporter Rihanna Dawson talked to the senior defensive lineman David Konowalski and the linebacker C.J. Lamar on a new-look defense.
I'm here with David Kono, and I just have a few questions for you today. How do you feel about the change on the defensive side of the ball?
The change is new, and we were really optimistic about it, and just the ability to grow and learn each day, go out there and play fast while communicating. The recovery process is long, but it's going well, and you can expect everything and more out of me coming up this year, but just trying to take it one day at a time and get better and just keep working.
Starting the season, the spring practice, how do you feel and your plans going forward throughout the season?
I'm feeling pretty good about the cultural change that Coach Loeffler has brought to the Bowling Green football team, and today was pretty rough, but I got a lot of stuff that I got to learn because I just switched positions.
So with this position change, how do you see with the new coaches, the coaching staff that was here before, how do you see that integration and moving forward with this season?
I feel like it's going to be really good. Like I said, I got a lot to learn at linebacker, all the terminology and all the plays and stuff. But I feel really good about everything that has changed over the time. Defense definitely welcomed me in with open arms. All the players just hit me up. When we're not in school, when we're not at practice, we get extra time in. They teach me all the terminology and all the plays and stuff. So it's going really well.
And here's a look around BG Athletics this week. BG Hockey has a 23-9-5 record. They play in the WCHA semifinals this weekend at Northern Michigan. All three games this weekend, if necessary, are set for 7:07 p.m. Baseball is 2-10 on the season and lost 3 close games at Cincinnati. They have their home opener later today. BG Softball has been playing some great competition lately and have been competitive in most of their games, but they now find themselves with a 4-11 record. They play at home today versus Oakland. Women's basketball finished their season with a 9-21 overall record. Junior Annie Cecil was named to the All-MAC third team, while first-year Falcon Morgan McMillan was chosen to the All-Freshman team. Men's basketball is looking ahead to the tournament after failing to close the regular season out strong. They currently sit at 20-11 on the year. They play tomorrow versus Ball State in the MAC tournament, and BG Tennis, they are currently 6-5 on the season, with their next match taking place versus Principal College on Monday. Making her fourth appearance in a national championship, Aaliyah Gustafson made the finals for the first time in her career. Gustafson opened the meet with her best throw of the night, tossing the shot 56 feet and 4 inches. She sat third in the first round after the first round and was still fifth heading into the finals. Gustafson remained fifth going into the final round, but was unable to improve her distance and fell to seventh. Still, it was the best result for a BGSU track and field student athlete at indoor championship since Huina Han placed fourth in the triple jump in 1998. And the BGSU gymnastics team will hold its annual senior night Friday as the Falcons host Western Michigan in Anderson Arena at 6:30 p.m. Immediately following the meet, 6 Falcon seniors will be recognized for their careers at Bowling Green. They include Julia Baer, Rachel Cray, Leslie Delgado, Lauren Domino, Katie Morsefield, and Kayla Rose. And with so much going on in the Falcon Athletics, can any new play overtake the champion from last week? And our reigning champion from last week's show, receiving nearly 45% of the votes on Twitter, Daquan Plowden with the block on the fast break, throwing it down off the lob from Dylan Fry. A huge dunk from Daquan Plowden. You see the bench reaction right there. We stay on the hardwood, and Daquan Plottin continues to be on the highlight reels with this slam dunk. Against the Buffalo Bulls, a huge dunk, and suffered the contact. And now going to hockey, the number 2 play, we go to the ice. Freddie Letourneau earns the penalty shot and drills it to extend the Falcons' lead and send them into the next round. See some fan reactions at the hockey arena. And the last play, Max Johnson caps off Friday night's incredible last period comeback to completely flip the momentum and ignite the madhouse on Mercer. A huge comeback from Bowling Green in that game. You can vote for which play you thought was best on Twitter at BG24TV. If you think one of the 3 new plays this week is the best, or if you think last week's is still the champion, let us know. And that's all for this Falcon Sports Report. For our director, Garrett McKinney, producers Max Marco, Chase Bachman, Josh Saltzman, Chip Crennan, Garrett McKinney, and myself, thanks for watching. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and at BG24 and Falcon Media. Check in again from this next week for more highlights, interviews, and stories from your favorite Falcon teams.